and so big that only the nearest point could be seen. Right on this point was the Discworld, turtle, elephants, little orbiting sun and all. On every other black and white triangle of the chessboard, all the way to infinity, was a small grey shape, like an empty hooded robe. Death recognised them. They weren't life forms, they were non-life forms. They were the observers of the operation of the universe, its clerks, its auditors. They saw to it that things spun and rocks fell. They desired only a universe where nothing happened that was not completely predictable. Intelligent life was, to them, an anomaly. It made the filing untidy, and the auditors hated things like that. So, periodically, they tried to tidy things up a little. "But why now?" thought Death. He nodded at the death of rats. "Show me a beginning." Tick. It was a bitter winter's night. The man hammered on the back door. The girl, who'd been admiring her new hat in the mirror, went and opened it. A figure was outlined against the freezing starlight. "Mrs. Ogg, the midwife?" "It's Miss, actually, and which too, of course." She indicated her new pointy hat. "You must come at once. It's very urgent. I've come a long way. They say you are the best in the world." The girl looked suddenly panic-stricken. "What? Me? I've only delivered one." "Then I do beg your pardon. I will not trespass further on your time." The stranger retreated into the snow-speckled shadows. "Hello?" said Miss Ogg. "Hello?" But there was nothing there except footprints, which stopped in the middle of the snow-covered path. Tick. There was a hammering on the door. Mrs. Ogg put down the child that had been sitting on her knee and went and raised the latch. A dark figure stood outlined against the warm summer evening sky. "Mrs. Ogg, you are married now?" "Yep, twice." "You must come at once. It's very urgent. I have come a long way." Mrs. Ogg paused. The whiteness on the cloak was snow, melting fast. Faint memory stirred. "Well now," she said, because she'd learnt a lot in the last 20 years or so. "I wouldn't say I'm the best. Always learning something new, me." "Oh, in that case, I will call at a more convenient moment." Without ever quite vanishing, the stranger was no longer present. Tick. There was a hammering on the door, and Nanny Ogg put down her brandy nightcap. She laid down her pipe and opened the door this springtime midnight. She looked down at the melting snow dripping off the dark figure's cloak. "You've come a long way, I'm thinking." "True, Mrs. Ogg." "And it's urgent?" "Indeed. You must come at once." "Well now, I'd say yes. I'm a pretty good midwife. I can't think of anyone better." "Then you must leave with me now." Nanny reached behind the door for her birthing bag. "Right-o." She left. Tick. When Nanny walked back into her kitchen, she drained the brandy and picked up her pipe. The bowl was still warm. Then she took something out of her bag and sat down to look at it. "Well," she said, "that was very unusual." Tick. Death watched the image fade. "Ah, I see. A strange birthing. But is that what the problem was? Or what the solution will be?" Death went back to his desk and opened a drawer. There was a thick book there, bound in night. On the cover, where a book like this might say Our Wedding or Acme Photo Album, it said Memories. Death turned the heavy pages carefully, but some of the memories escaped, forming brief pictures in the air before flying into the distant, dark corners of the room. But one ancient memory, brown and cracking round the edges, lingered in the air.